What's up, you all? It's Ren Carothers, Future Stars Forecast. Usually we talk about 2-year-olds, but it's Derby week. We have a special show for you. I'm going to welcome in somebody who is in a position which I can't even imagine. It must feel so surreal. I am talking about Randy Gullatt of Twin Creeks Racing, breeders of Tiz the Law, your 3-5 favorite in this year's Kentucky Derby. Let's bring him in. Randy,
hey Ren.
Hey, oh my gosh, like, what's going through your mind right now?
It is actually real. This actually might happen.
Let's actually back it up just to give people an idea of how incredible this story is, because it all starts back, and I'm going to embarrass you here, so I hope you don't mind. Don't leave my broadcast. Check these pants out. Okay.
No, you didn't.
Oh yes, I did. Okay, so there you are, Randy, in your fabulous checkered pants, and in that frame with you outlined is your childhood friend, Steve Davison. Tell our viewers who Steve is and your relationship.
So, Steve and I have been buddies since 3 years old, 4 years old. And what can I say? We've been best buddies for many years, and we got in the horse business kind of unexpected, and it just
don't walk over it. Give us details, because you guys used to go to the racetrack as kids. You'd sneak in, right?
We went to the races. I got my trainer's license at 18 years old.
That's crazy. You used to gallop horses before that.
I galloped horses, thought I could train a horse. We claimed a horse with Steve.
For how much? Tell our viewers how much. This all started on a horse that cost?
$7,500.
Unbelievable. Okay, so
I felt the pressure of a $7,500 horse. Am I going to be a trainer? Here's my one chance. And we got lucky. It won.
Oh my gosh.
Won again.
Is this the filly right here?
Oh yeah, that's me.
That
might be the win right there.
Oh,
that's what started it.
That's amazing. And from there, what happened after this first win?
We claimed another one, and it won, and it won again.
Oh my gosh.
And we claimed another one, and then it won and won again. And voila, we had a stable, and it just grew from there.
And check out all the hardware behind you, by the way. To think that this journey started as childhood friends and a $7,500 claimer to where you are now. Before we even get to talking about Tiz the Law, I want to continue to talk about the genesis of Twin Creeks, because as you were saying, you've got wins after wins. Eventually, you decided to move to Kentucky. You got married. Your wife, Kim, is a former jockey. Mm-hmm. And, you had children. And you're like, well, why don't we try to get into the breeding side of this? And so you and Steve decided to go ahead, find a farm. And then from your own stable of horses, you started pulling the ones that you thought would make for a really good broodmare band, led by this mare, La Paz.
One of my all-time favorites, just unbelievable. Without her, we wouldn't be here for sure.
So let's tell our viewers why. Because, okay, she's an 8-time winner for you. She, with her third foal, dropped a graded stakes winner, which, I mean, that already is incredible, because I don't think people appreciate just how hard it is to even get a horse to the track, right?
For sure. For sure.
So, I mean, the fact that not only does she give you healthy foals, in just her third foal, she gives you Forest Camp, who won the 99 Del Mar Futurity. And then she gave you another graded stakes winner in Spanish Empire, who won the grade 3 fifth season at Oaklawn.
A very unlucky horse that could have been anything.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing, though. She had thrown enough quality that you guys went ahead. You bred her to Storm Cats, and then sold her at the November mixed sale at Keeneland in 2000 for $1.6 million. It was Jane Lyon, who, by the way, I absolutely adore, of Summerwind Farm, who purchased her. But this is the cool thing, because she purchased her, and later on, she had bred her to Unbridled Song. And in 2008, that yearling was in the sale. And what happened?
He was ours. I could not leave without him.
And what did you end up naming this horse?
Mission Impossible.
And what did he do for you but win the Louisiana Derby? Okay.
And coming from Louisiana, I mean, that was like, are you kidding me?
How surreal is it, honestly?
You know, if that would have been our career, and that's the best thing we ever accomplished, I probably would have been satisfied.
And he did get you to the Derby. I mean, albeit it wasn't a winning trip, but still, I mean, what was it like as an owner being in that situation, knowing just here's a horse that, I mean, after everything that had already gone on with the journey of Twin Creeks, and again, going back to the fact that you started this all off with a $7,500 claimer, and now here you are, you're at the Kentucky Derby with a horse that you won the Louisiana Derby.
I thought that was the top. It couldn't get better. I mean, that's as far as we can go.
Right.
And, you know, and he was unlucky in the race. He actually clipped Hills in the first turn.
Yes.
And just took out any chance he had. And I think he had actually a legit chance to win that race that day. And I mean, he came back and got beat a nose in the Stephen Foster on the same track. So we thought he had that performance in him on that day, but you know, we just didn't have the luck on that day. So, but we got there. So that was huge.
Did you campaign here with Terry Bradshaw?
Terry Bradshaw was part of it. Yes.
He's got a new, I think he has a new reality show, Terry.
A personality maybe never duplicated.
Definitely a big, big personality. I remember, I didn't speak with him, but my husband and I happened to be at, we went for a dinner one day, and Terry Bradshaw happened to be at the bar there. And you could already just tell, you know, larger than life type presence, right?
For sure.
But it must have been fun to campaign a horse like this. And so you did get back to the Derby with another horse. And by the way, we'll circle back to talk about Mission Impossible because he's at stud now for you guys. But before we do that, let's talk about another horse who did get you to the Derby. And I'm talking about Destin, who won the Tampa Bay Derby. Mm-hmm. He ended up being 6th in the Kentucky Derby, 2nd in the Belmont. But here's the cool thing about that horse also. So he's a full brother to Creative Cause, who that horse is a multiple Grade 1 winner, won the Best Pal Stakes, won the Norfolk Stakes, was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile in 2011, and 5th in the Derby and 3rd in the Preakness. But also their full sister is Vexatious, who won the personal ensign over Midnight Bisou recently, and that was a winner in for the Breeders' Cup Longines Distaff. How awesome is that for you?
You know, it's incredible, but I'm kicking myself. I mean, who else should have been owning Vexation but us? I mean, why didn't we buy this horse? She was like $150,000.
Oh my God!
Me?
Really? I didn't even realize she cost $150,000 through the sale.
After we knew this pedigree was fantastic, I mean, how dumb are we?
If I could slap you through the screen, I think I'm.
We definitely deserve that.
The only word for that is that sucks. I mean, my gosh, I'm excited because obviously it does build Destin's page as a stallion, but still, you know, and that's the thing we're always talking about. There are a lot of people who have I know in this case you didn't own the dam, but still there are a lot of people who, you know, obviously you see these black type horses coming through. So then they sell their colts and they retrain their fillies just for the purpose of having then that broodmare stock build back up. Now, again, though, you have Destin, but a horse you did pick up and who ended up looking like a bargain, even though he cost a pretty penny, for $400,000 as a yearling. Constitution, the sire of Tiz the Law. So looking back at that, you know, and again, a yearling for $400,000 seems like, because you just don't know what's going to happen. That's a long time between making that first start and seeing if you're going to get a return on that investment. But not only did he prove worthy, I mean, this is a multiple Grade 1 winner, won the Florida Derby and won the Dawn, and now and that's a race you also won with another horse of yours, Gradar, won the Dawn. But with Constitution, what he has done already in just this short time as a sire, to have in your first crop the favorite for the Kentucky Derby, That's nuts.
Again, I never thought I'd be here. It just happens,
Yeah.
you work hard every day, and, we were very blessed, for sure.
I guess now you still have interest in Constitution, who stands at Windstar Farm, correct?
Yeah, and then we took all these mares to try to make Constitution, or give him that chance to be made, not thinking that we're going to have a Tiz the Law. And we folded in New York, hoping maybe he would win the Funny Side Stakes, a New York bred stakes, as a 2-year-old. And we're thinking that might be the best thing that could possibly happen.
Oh my gosh.
And no, this is actually Tiz the Law.
I
That's
know.
3 to 5 favorite in the Kentucky Derby. And
It's
only
not.
Easy Goer has been 3 to 5 favorite in the Kentucky Derby. Maybe one of my all-time
Yes!
greats. Like a humongous fan of Sunday Silence,
Yes!
Easy Goer. And then, I mean, here we are, Tiz the Law, 3 to 5, same as Easy Goer. Come on.
I
Really?
know, right? And here's the cool thing. So I'm going to get into the pedigree because everybody knows I'm a petty geek. Okay, so I actually have a number of replays and things to show. But before we actually get into the replays, I want to show you a couple of photos of Tiz the Law. My friend Janet Garaguso, she's an amazing photographer on the side of her actual work, and she has these great photos of Tiz the Law that really illustrate the cool feature that he got passed down to him through AP Indy. Because for those of you who don't know, Constitution is a son of Tappet, and Tappet is a son of Pulpit, and Pulpit is a son of AP Indy. Hall of Famer in '92 as a 3-year-old. In that season, he won the Belmont Stakes, and he also beat older horses in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I'm going to show you that stretch run. But one of the things that is so noticeable, or was, because we did lose AP Indy earlier this year, sadly. But one of the things always so noticeable about AP Indy was this eye of his, this white rimmed eye. And Randy, go ahead, because I know the stories of the old wives' tales of a rimmed eye. But you go ahead and tell our viewers.
Right. So as a up and coming trainer wannabe, as an 18-year-old, looking at all these horses, every time there was a horse that had a white eye, that was like, stay away. That means evil. That is not good. And that's been a tale that I think it's my whole life that I've heard.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
when you go to the yearling sale and you see these white-eyed horses, you're like, maybe I like it, maybe I don't like it.
Well, now you're going to love it, right?
So now my suggestion to everyone, if you see a white-eyed horse, buy it.
Yes, exactly. Because check this out. Here you can see, if you look closely, everybody, I'll see if I can make this bigger. Oh, no, I made us smaller. But there you are with the white rimmed eye. And this is a trait that you will often see in horses related to AP Indy. His was very, very distinct. Here again, where he's getting hugged right here after this champagne. You can see the eye, that little white rim. Now, as I said, AP Indy, let's take off the overlay here. AP Indy is a Breeders' Cup Classic champion. This is a Breeders' Cup show, so I would be remiss if I did not show you that replay. We're going to do that right now. I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to share the excitement again, reliving it. AP Indy in the '92 Breeders' Cup Classic, beating older horses because he was 3. He was only 3.
Hard to keep up. AP Indy is finding his best stride, and he's moving powerfully in between horses as they move toward the top of the stretch in this 9th Breeders' Cup Classic defensive play. Thunder Rebel still there. AP Indy's in an all-out drive, and Pleasant Tap is coming with giant strides on the inside. They're coming to the finish. It is AP Indy in front. Pleasant Tap, one last run at him. AP Indy wins the Breeders' Cup Classic by 3 conclusive lengths. And then it was Pleasant Tap.
Oh.
Crazy. You know what kills me is you see horses like AP Indy, Easy Goer that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to think that we have a horse that is that level, it's just it blows my mind.
Do you see AP Indy in him besides that eye? Is there something about, because I do, that determination he shows?
Agreed.
Yeah.
And AP was not a big horse as well.
No.
Neither is Tiz the Law.
About how big do you think is he, Tiz the Law?
I asked the tag group today, I said, have you put a stick on him lately? And they think he's just a shad under 16 hands. So 15.3 and a half, somewhere in that range. But as a yearling, he was probably average at best size.
Wow.
And to see that stride,
yes.
I mean, that's AP Indy. I
know.
It's amazing.
Well, the thing that I think another reason why people like me and other fans who really took to AP Indy as sort of this living legend while he was still with us was the fact that he himself was the product of being a son of Seattle Slew and being out of a daughter of Secretariat. I mean, you have two of the most beloved horses in American racing history, and in many cases, international racing, I think, appreciates those two as well. And here he was like this heir apparent, and he had so much talent, and I'm sure we would have seen more from him had that been possible. But he's such a horse that through him, we see not only talent, but we've seen such versatility and surface and just the heart and guts that these horses display. And you have another horse in Tiz the Law's pedigree that exemplifies fortitude and made history, actually. And I have that replay as well. And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. His dam is a daughter of
Tiz Now, America's horse.
Exactly. Now, usually when I show a Tiz Now replay, I would show the 2001 edition where, Tiz Now wins it for America. But because I thought it would be more fitting given this conversation with, we were just talking about Vexatious and Destin and Creative Cause. They're all progeny of the late, great Giants Causeway, who was Cartier Horse of the Year in 2000 and who put in a magnificent performance in his first start and his last career start being on dirt in the Breeders' Cup Classic of 2000 with Tiz Now. So let's go ahead and take a look back at that race. Whoop. And I just locked myself out of my screen. I'm going to do that again. I hit the keyboard. So here we go. Now we're going to watch it. Share audio, share, and...
As the field rounds the far turn, Albert the Great and Tiz Now, they continue to go at it. Giants Causeway is called on for his run. Lemon Drop Kid is fourth toward the inside. Gander is fifth. Vision versus sixth. Fusa, E.G. Pegasus is toiling. The field comes off the turn. Tiz Now on the outside. Albert the Great on the rail. The two of them continue to go at it. Here comes Giants Causeway for Ireland on the outside. They're coming into the final furlong. Tiz Now tough as nails. Giants Causeway on the outside. Giants Causeway and Tiz Now battling head to head. A heart-pounding, pulsating stretch drive, and Tiz Now prevails. Tiz Now has won it by a nose over Giants Causeway, and it was close for third there between Captain Steve.
Wow.
I know.
When you watch these videos of these great horses and you see them in the pedigree, now you're going, well, it makes sense.
Exactly.
Oh, makes sense now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, that's what I'm saying. It's how, this is the future stars forecast, right? You look at this pedigree and you're by, Constitution, AP&D firing line. Your dam is by the only horse who have ever won the Breeders' Cup Classic twice, Tiz Now. So already you know this is such quality. So by the way, if any of you out there had any concern before the Travers, if this horse could get a mile and a quarter, hello, just look at the pedigree. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Right?
And it's that class. It's that class
yes.
that those two horses that you just mentioned have that foundation. And that's, in my opinion, why he's so good. It's one thing, and it's class. And we saw it as a baby. We didn't know he had the talent, but we saw the class. And now we see it on the racetrack as well. I mean, are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. But you know who else he has in the pedigree? Because again, I got to get all my Breeders' Cup shout outs in this pedigree because he has such ped cred. This horse, I believe it's his grandmother. Is it the grandmother? Is a half sister to Favorite Trick, right? I have to double check on that. I'm almost sure it's the granny.
Yes.
But
speed back in there.
Oh, I know. So you've got this great balance because of that. And the fact is, you know, I believe Favorite Trick is the last horse who at 2 years old to earn Horse of the Year honors, if I remember correctly, if my history serves. But I mean, just unbelievable. So I do have the 97 Breeders' Cup Juvenile queued up. So let's watch it. See here, we're going to share audio again. Go to Chrome tab. And here we go.
The leader is making a belated bid. He switched to the outside. Grand Slam toiling, and the field turns for home. It is Favorite Trick. The leaders, they come to mid-stretch. Under a hand ride beneath Pate, Favorite Trick. Now he says go, and Favorite Trick responds in an instant. He opens up by 3.5 lengths. Dawson's Legacy, the Canadian second, Junior County third. Here is an undefeated champion, Favorite Trick, and he ran like a champion today, winning by 5. And a pair of long shots, finishing second and third.
And
Legacy.
you know what's interesting watching that video is that he's not a big horse, and he's very quick. And if you watch all of Tiz the Law's races, he's very quick out of the gates.
Yeah.
He has that turn of foot. He puts himself in a position, and now he's got this foundation pedigree that can take him 1.25 miles.
Yeah.
I think that perfectly shows in his pedigree the talent, where he gets the size and the quickness and the class. I mean, that's it. It looks so easy when you should put all this together.
I know, right?
We should be able to do this all the time, right?
Exactly. Oh my gosh. But no, you know what? It's his third dam. It's his great granny who's the half sister to Favorite Trick. And you know, it's just when you see that, and that's one of the things I've been noticing, just even doing this show. I mean, I always kind of knew, and you always have to, assume that when you see horses who can make the Breeders' Cup, that they're going to have the type of pedigrees that are black type, that are quality, that are then going to go to the shed and then produce more quality. But it just seems more and more that the more Breeders' Cup horses you have, and this sounds like I'm just like plug-in, but it's true. Like the more Breeders' Cup winners you seem to have in a pedigree, the better your odds are that you're going to have a horse of this caliber coming out of the gate for you. And, going back to what you were saying, like, you didn't know that the horse was, oh, and again, I just want to reiterate, if people are just joining us, we are talking about the pedigree of Tiz the Law, your 3-5 favorite in the Kentucky Derby, a son of Constitution who is of the AP Indy sire line, out of Tiz Fizz, a daughter of the only horse to win the Breeders' Cup Classic twice in Tiz Now. And then his third dam is a half sister to 97's Breeders' Cup Juvenile champ and Horse of the Year at 2 years old, Favorite Trick. So going back to what we're talking about, so can you tell us how you found Tiz Fizz, and then the quality you saw in her, because I've discussed this with you before, that you thought she was so classy, a really well-composed mare, and with a great demeanor, temperament, and then what you saw in him as a foal and yearling.
When we went to the November sale trying to find some mares that would fit our stallions, one, we were looking for value. So we're trying to, when you're competing against the Darleys of the world at the sales, we can't always find what is obvious. So sometimes you have to give and take what you find. But the thing that I saw with her is she had class. She might not have had this blow you away physical, but she had a class to her that I think is very important. So, getting her at value, showing that class, it was like that was a very good deal.
Oh my gosh. Well, for those of, who are watching, who they hear the word class, what do you describe as class? What is that nuance that you're looking for?
And I see it with Tiz the Law. It's confidence. It's nothing intimidates them. They stand up and they just act like they own the world. Everything else is around them. And when you see that eye that stands up there with all that confidence, and you see Tiz the Law in the paddock at the Travers, every other horse was scared out of their mind. He was just standing there going, I'm the man. You guys are scared of me. When I saw him in the paddock, I was like, oh my gosh, he just won the race. I mean, there was no one else showing that much confidence. And, it's something that definitely gets passed along in those genes for sure.
Do you feel, to make it easier for the layman to understand also, it's like an alpha mentality.
For sure, for sure. But and it's in the way it's not a mean dominant. It's
Right.
not. You don't have to be nasty mean to have that class. And Tiz the Law is the sweetest horse to be around. He doesn't need to be mean to own the world. He just does it by confidence. And that's I know he got that on the bottom side, and he got that bite from his daddy. I mean, it was like the perfect cross
Combination. Oh, I
sure.
love it. Now there is a sad element to this story. Tiz Fizz actually gave you the following year a filly by Mission Impassable, who's 2 years old, and her name's Angel Oak.
Correct.
And what is she up to right now?
She's at Windstar Farm training. She had her first breeze back last week. We love her. She acts like she shows plenty of talent. But the best thing about it, she has what we're talking about, and it's that class. She is a sweetie. She owned the field with all of her horses around her. She did it without dominating them. She did it with confidence, and we see that every day. And I'm hoping that she carries that gene that that her mom did, and she is not for sale.
I was just going to say, I'm guessing you are not ever taking offers on her.
She is not for sale. We've had a lot of people inquire, and I shut them down right off. No, don't even tempt us. It's not happening. Move on.
That's awesome. So, but you do have a full sibling to her, who is a yearling, correct? A colt.
Correct.
Does he have a name yet?
He does not. And now this is a boy, so he is going to be in the Fasig-Tipton sale coming up next week. And
wow.
He looks really, really nice. And because he's a boy, we're going to put him out there, and maybe we sell him, maybe we don't. They have to pay for him.
I'm sure the reserve has been set at an appropriate level. What can you tell us about his temperament?
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, his daddy is another one that was very classy, full of confidence. Another came from La Paz, a similar class from his pedigree. But that was what attracted me to him as well. And again, pure class. We have no idea how good the horse will be. We won't know till they make it to the races. But he is showing plenty of class, and that's my number one thing I need to see to own.
Well, let me ask you this. I know you're selling him, but if you were retaining him, what would you have named him? I'm putting you on the spot.
Ooh. I haven't thought of that.
You think about it, and by the end of the show, if you've come up with something, tell me. And if you haven't, because who knows, maybe the people who buy them will take your suggestion.
Who knows? That might be one of the hardest things to do, is name horses right now.
I know, there's so much pressure, right? Because you don't.
And there's nothing available. Every good name you come up with, you're like, oh, that's the one. You plug it in, it's taken, and you're just back to the drawing board.
Do you know a funny story? Actually, I saw I saw David Portnoy making jokes with Chad Brown and Bradley Weisbord on Twitter a couple months ago, and talking about how aren't we at the Derby yet? Why haven't we got a Derby horse or anything like that? And I was joking around. I said, "Well, you should, because he goes by Stool Presidente." I joked. I said, "Oh, you should get a Constitution and name it Portnoy, because Portnoy wasn't taken." And I checked back like a week later, and now it's gone.
Ooh.
So maybe they took my suggestion. I don't know.
Do you get paid for that?
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think he can afford a very nice horse. So if they get any wins with a horse named Portnoy, I think I should get a cut of that. But no, it's true.
That actually would be a good job to have, is
naming horses.
All you did was name horses and charge people to take your names.
I would love that.
Make a business.
I'm such a history geek, so I actually try to find clever ways of coming up with names for horses. And so, yeah, if anybody out there needs me to name their horse, I will do that and just take a percentage of their earnings. Okay, so
sounds fair.
You can tweet at me at Ren Carothers now. So that being said, No, there is pressure because when you are in a position, I always like to take it from this standpoint. So you look at all that hardware you got behind you. You want a name that fits the hardware, right?
For sure.
Okay, so what do you have behind you?
Ooh, it looks like a Florida Derby trophy back there.
Nice.
Maybe our biggest, most proud trophy.
That's awesome.
Horse of the Year and New York bred Tiz the Law up there. So pretty cool trophies.
I actually joked with you before because we've seen that sign that was actually pretty fun that they put up in Saratoga, or that was a stop sign, stop, and then parentheses, Tiz the Law. You joked with me before that you wanted one. Did you get one?
Oh, we have 2.
Nice. Oh my God. So do you have like post them around the farm, or is one in the house?
No, they're around the farm so people can see. And yes, we're proud of them.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, going on with this whole situation. So obviously today we had, well, actually, no, before we move on, you were talking about the Travers and how you knew that this horse had already won the race, just seeing the confidence with which he was carrying himself in the paddock. Should we show our viewers him winning the Travers?
Oh, yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Tiz the Law, winning the Travers, putting aside anybody's questions, whether or not he could get a mile in the quarter, which if they had questions about that, looking at that pedigree, come on, people. Come on. Come on. Let's watch it. Here we go.
Country Grammar is down at the rail in 4th, and it's Caracaro in 5th, 3.5 lengths. Back to Max Player. South Bend is at the back. The 3-year-old colts now head up the backstretch with Uncle Chuck in front. Chivalry's in between horses. The favorite Tiz the Law on the outside after a half mile in 48 and 1/5 seconds. And they're halfway home in the Run Happy Travers. And here's Tiz the Law now to take on Uncle Chuck. It's Uncle Chuck by a half length. Tiz the Law in second. Country Grammar is now up to third. Caracaro is moving up on the outside of Chivalry. Farther back it is Max Player and South Bend. They are midway around the far turn, and the battle is joined here. Uncle Chuck on the inside and Tiz the Law on the outside. They are heads apart for the lead. Caracaro is in third. Max Player now makes his move on the extreme outside. Country Grammar is down towards the rail, and Tiz the Law has the lead at the top of the stretch. It is Tiz the Law in front with 3/16 to the finish. Tiz the Law has a 4-length lead. He's left the others behind. It's Tiz the Law. He won the Belmont Stakes. He's going to win the Run Happy Travers. And now it's on to Kentucky as the favorite in the Derby. Here he is, Saratoga's hometown hero, Tiz the Law.
Go ahead.
Can you imagine what Manny Franco was feeling?
I know.
He had to be a nervous wreck going into the gates. And on the backside, he knew he won. I mean, you could see, just like in the paddock that we saw, he had to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to win the Travers on the backside. And good for him.
No, he's such a great rider. And one of the things, I kind of made my reputation off playing 2-year-olds at Saratoga. One of the things with Manny Franco that you always notice with him, with the 2-year-olds in particular, when you see other jockeys maybe questioning the ride a little bit themselves of what a horse is going to do, and they get a little nervous with babies because you just don't know. Manny always rode babies with such confidence. Like, he wasn't scared. And if you're not scared to ride a 2-year-old, which they're out of their mind sometimes, I mean, obviously with a professional, the sky's the limit, right?
Oh, for sure.
So, Manny, it's so wonderful to see him in this position of having a horse like this. And I know that the responsibility that comes with it has got to be tremendously, making its presence known in his mind and in all the, the media he sees and the interviews he has to give. Did you see him today at all? I know you were at Churchill Downs.
I did not see him, but I would think if I was Manny Franco and I saw that you got an outside draw, I think it probably takes a little pressure off.
Yeah.
Because it's not as many things are going to happen around you. You might be able to dictate a little more what you want to do instead of getting stuck like poor Mission Impossible did years ago, who was in the middle, had a perfect spot about 3 or 4 lengths off the lead, hit the first turn, everybody comes over on him, and his race was over. I don't see that could happen to Tiz the Law
Right.
here. Could he get a very wide trip around? Absolutely. But it's unlikely he gets taken out from that outside draw.
I love the draw for him for the very reasons you just outlined. And, somebody actually, I think, made a joke on Twitter talking about the fact that it's been 17 years since Funny Side. So Sakatoba and Barclay Taggett teamed up with Funny Side, who won the Derby back in 2003, the same team together with Tiz the Law. So they thought that was kind of funny, and I did as well. But one of the other things I noticed were people talking about, the 17 hole hasn't had a winner ever in the Kentucky Derby. But that means nothing to me. And for a couple of reasons. One, this is a completely new gate. They got rid of the auxiliary gate. You have a new 20 horse stall gate. And in fact, because of it, I was reading this great article written by my friend Nicole Russo for the DRF, where she talked to the gate crew head, and he was talking about the fact that now they can actually move off the rail a little bit, and you get about 10 to 15 feet on either side to mess with. He did say the partitions are a little bit more narrow, but the horses have ample rooms. But with the partitions being more narrow, they stand a little closer to each other. But as you just said, the horse has so much confidence. I don't think he's going to be intimidated by that. But also, when you consider the fact that how many horses of supreme quality had the 17 hole after, through all those years too. So those statistics don't really mean much. What about you as a trainer and understanding the mechanics of getting out of the gate and being, put out wide? What is your feeling on that?
Wasn't it Big Brown that had the 20 hole?
I think you're right. Yeah.
And won.
And obviously not specifically for him, because you just went over and saying that you don't worry about it for him, but just in general, was that ever a consideration for you? Were you going,
I think the very far outside worries him a little bit, because sometimes they would break out,
right,
and not having something to keep you inside the group would be a little bit of a concern. Obviously, with Big Brown, it was not.
No.
But most of these horses that have raced 4 or 5 times now, and now having it in September, a lot of them have more than 4 or 5 starts.
Yeah.
A lot of them are over that. So it's the dreaded one hole, like looking at Lucky, who probably got hurt the worst of anyone that I can remember. It really, I think he was the best horse that year, and the one just took him out. That inside, I think, is a lot more harmful than the outside.
And I feel so bad because the horse who drew the inside this year is Finnick the Fierce, who has one eye.
Well, this year they do have a little more space than in the years past. So I actually was looking at a picture of the gates today, and there is probably enough space in there that he should be okay. You feel for him. I wouldn't want to be there.
No.
But I'm sure there are scenarios you could work out to make it work out.
I'm so excited, though, that they did get rid of that auxiliary gate, because unfortunately what we were seeing was a problem with the horse in the 14 hole and the horse in the 15 hole, starting the auxiliary gate, because of that dead space in between, coming out and trying to fill it and colliding. And you would see a lot of, problems because of that. And a lot of horses who had a legitimate shot finishing poorly because all chance was wiped out at the beginning. And it's crazy to think of it that way, because it's a 1.25 mile race, but still. Now, who do you feel is your biggest competition in this race? We saw, sadly, Art Collector's out. He was a horse that a lot of people were talking about. There are a lot of people who are on Honor AP, who's right next to you guys in gate 16. And then to your outside in gate 18 is Authentic. Is it one of those two? Is it a dark horse? Who is it?
I think that New York Traffic is actually an interesting horse. I think he's pretty game. I think Bob Baffert's Authentic probably is going to be one that's going to want the lead. And you got to think, with Bob Baffert didn't bring him over here just to be to have a horse in the starting gates. You got to think he's going to go a long ways. Does he go 1.25 miles? I have my doubts, but it's Bob Baffert.
You never know.
You never know. But I think Tiz the Law again looks incredible. I'm really sad for the Art Collector guys. I think that horse really, his profile fit the Kentucky Derby really well.
Yeah.
He was a beautiful moving horse that looked like a mile and a quarter would be perfect for him, and he was coming into the race perfect. What a shame for that group.
Yeah, it's a minor injury, very minor, and so we anticipate that we'll see this horse come back in the Preakness fresh. Now, here's a question for you: with your background as a trainer, because I know the decision's not up to you, but if you were in the ownership group, if you were the trainer, let's say everything goes well on Saturday, he wins the Kentucky Derby. Now he's already won the Belmont. He's won the Travers too. I mean, this is crazy. But so we'll keep it to the Triple Crown talk. So he's won the Belmont, and now he's won the Kentucky Derby. Do you go, even though it's not a traditional Triple Crown, do you still go Preakness, or do you give him and go against those fresh horses there? Do you just go Breeders' Cup Classic, or do you do both? What do you do?
I mean, I think the Preakness means a lot in American history.
Yes,
even though this is a crazy year,
yeah.
there's something about that series that's an important race.
Yeah.
I think if the horse is healthy, if I had any say, and I have none,
you make that very clear. No say.
The Preakness would be really nice in this horse's bankroll.
I know, because bankroll. Let's talk about bankroll for a second. I mean, this is a horse who, with the exception of one loss, he's raced 7 times. He's 4 for 4 in 2020. Of his victories, 4 of those are Grade 1 wins. He won the Champagne. I mean, like I said, he's already won the Travers. He's won the Belmont Stakes.
And the Holy Bull. We didn't even, no one even thinks of that. I mean, that's a really hard race to actually win in that group.
Yes. And like his sire, he won the Florida Derby. I mean, he's already won over $2 million, okay? And his only loss, and I'll ask you about this too, his only loss came in the Kentucky Jockey Club. His final start as a 2-year-old, and it was at Churchill Downs. So his only loss came at Churchill Downs. But I think people, and I want to know if you agree, I think people make much thinking that they might have a vulnerability there because, first of all, the loss was 3/4 of a length, ultimately. I mean, do you think, like I'm saying, do you think people are like, oh, he lost at Churchill, so maybe?
Mm-hmm. I think he was a young 2-year-old. It was at nighttime. It was a sloppy racetrack.
That's a great point.
So I think it's going to be very different. And looking at the confidence to where this horse was that on that day versus where his confidence is now, I think I wouldn't even think about it.
See, I think this is a horse that I really feel could handle pretty much anything in terms of the conditions of the track. It's not going to rain. It looks like the weather's going to be very nice. I think he could handle it just by virtue of, again, that AP Indy line's great. And in fact, a replay I'm going to show you next is a horse winning the Kentucky Derby on an off track, and that is his. Okay, this is crazy. Let me frame it to you all this way. All right, Chris McCarron rode the sires of Tiz the Law's first 2 dams. He rode Tiz Now, and he rode Tiz the Law's grandmother's sire, Go for Gin, winner of the '94 Kentucky Derby. Let's take a look back. The quality of this replay is not the best, but still, we got to watch it, right? Here we go.
Correct. Bravo is flying along with Strode's Creek. Luminous Fair is next. And on the inside, Holy Bull is dropping back. Holy Bull is out of it. He's about 9th at this point. Now they're in the stretch. Go for Jim, who's led from the start, has the lead. He's going off by 2 with McCarron. On the inside, Bravo is second. Here comes Strode's Creek in the middle of the racetrack. And down the stretch they come. It's Go for Jim, digging in and holding on. He is going to win the Kentucky Derby. Wire to wire. He's under the wire. Chris McCarron gets his second Derby.
And that first Derby, of course, being aboard. So, I mean, come on. This horse is meant to win this race, I think. right?
I agree. I agree. I got one question though. You know,
Yeah.
and I didn't learn this today. You saw all that military that's lines up on the inside of the racetrack. I
Yeah.
wonder if they're going to have that this year.
Oh, you know what? That's a great point. I don't think they will, right? Because of the COVID consideration.
But I mean, what's the Kentucky Derby going to be like without the military on the inside?
Oh no.
I mean, what is there another race that has that?
You know what? I can't think of one. You're right. I had not thought of that at all. You're right. I mean, I guess they could do it if they would have to, I believe, under the current protocols being put in place, stand 6 feet apart. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the other thing. I mean, your horse, obviously, I think he's of the mentality he could have handled any type of crowds. It's going to be obviously a lot more quiet at Churchill Downs. One of the things they always love to point out during those big shows, and they're, telling mainstream audiences about the Kentucky Derby, is here you have these horses who are 3 years old and they have never seen a crowd the likes
That's
of which
crazy.
they see at Churchill.
That's
That's not
crazy.
happening this year, which is good for them, I guess, mentally. But at the same time, I mean, what is it like for you? You just found out recently that you're actually going to be able to attend.
Mm-hmm.
So are you still
That, and I didn't think I was last week, so I just found out a couple of days ago. And yes, if I couldn't have gone, I don't know how I would have handled it, but it looks like I will be there.
That's amazing. Are you going to bust out those pants? Do you have the adult version of the checker
Well,
pants?
anything goes in the Kentucky Derby.
Right?
So
Oh my gosh, I've seen some very, very interesting styles for sure. There's no question about that. Now, going forward, here's what I wanted to say regarding this horse, and the record's already put together in Tiz the Law. Again, he's won 6 of 7 starts, 4 for 4 in 2020. He's already a 4-time Grade 1 winner. This is, in addition, I mean, he's already won the Travers at 1.25 miles, so we know the distance is not an issue. And again, pedigree people should already know that anyway. But I mean, with this type of resume he has already put together, if he goes on to win the Derby, the Preakness, and then beats Older in the Breeders' Cup Classic, where does that put him in history?
Obviously I'm very biased, but I think what Barkley has done with this horse could be the hardest thing to do. And as a trainer, it is so hard to have a horse this good for that long of a period. And remember, he started at Saratoga.
Yeah.
Can you recall very many horses that run that big at Saratoga go on to run in the early spring? I mean, that's usually a kiss of death when you show that much talent at Saratoga.
I think I saw someone.
That is crazy.
I think someone posted that the only horse to have won their debut at Saratoga and then win the Kentucky Derby was Winning Colors. I think I saw that.
Wow. I believe it. I mean, we race horses there every year, and it is so hard to be a good 2-year-old, ask that much out of them that young. And then it usually takes so much that their 3-year-old year is really hurt. I mean, we've seen so many horses that you think would be champions at Saratoga, and their 3-year-old year, they're not there. This horse is thriving. He is so much better of a horse right now than he was there. I mean, what Barkley has done, it's absolutely amazing.
It truly is. And that's part of, I mean, I've always been somebody who I completely back what owners and trainers feel is best for their horse. I know there are a lot of people who get upset when we see horses retire early, or, they feel the horse is proven enough at the track and we don't get to see a showdown, with another horse who they feel is at, the same top level of the game. And we want to know definitively who's the better horse. I always defer because they know their horse is best. Who are we to armchair quarterback, right? If I had my way, and this is what I hope we see, if we don't, I will understand, but I hope we do see this horse, if he wins the Derby, go on to the Preakness, and then in the Breeders' Cup Classic, because that would be a campaign for the ages there. I mean,
I don't see how it's possible.
I know it seems.
I mean, if that horse if he can pull something like that off, he might be the best horse we've ever seen. Secretariat didn't have to do it, and we thought he was the greatest horse ever.
He's won all time.
But I mean, wow.
He's in the pedigree. I mean, this is the thing that, here, actually, somebody just said this right here. Never realized how good and how deep Tiz the Law's pedigree was. Bred to be a champion. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this is the thing. And if anybody is just joining us, I'll just quickly reiterate. Tiz the Law is by constitution a multiple grade 1 winning son of Tappet, who is by Pulpit, who is by AP Indy, Hall of Famer. Damn, Tiz Fizz, by the only horse to win the Breeders' Cup Classic twice, Hall of Famer Tiz Now. And then his third dam, that's his I should actually say his second dam is by Go for Gin, won the 94 Derby, the second in the Preakness, second in the Belmont. And then the third dam is a half-sister to 1997's Breeders' Cup Juvenile Champion and Horse of the Year at 2, Favorite Trick. It's an incredible pedigree. It's so deep. It's got everything you want to see in it. It has class. It has stamina. It has speed. And I guess that's part of the reason also why when you have a horse that already has this type of stallion's pedigree, because that's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It's a stallion's pedigree. To put together the race resume that is just completely unprecedented, it would be even like mind-blowing to me. So I mean, I don't know. Has there been any announcement regarding where he?
Ashford
Stud Coolmore. They he's going to be solidly supported there. And
absolutely.
Those, I mean, so you're going to be with the likes of Pharaoh and Justify. And, they have another horse there who I have such well, obviously Uncle Mo was there and everybody, the Giants Causeway stood there. But they have Classic Empire there as well. And I have such a soft spot for that horse. When we're talking about the Kentucky Derby, that's a horse who unfortunately took such a brunt of that auxiliary gate situation that, it's a testament to the grit and fortitude that, when you're talking about class, I always felt that horse had whatever that is, that charisma. And I think another way of putting it when we were talking about class is if anybody's ever seen someone enter a room and they don't necessarily have to be someone famous, but they just have a presence about them, right?
Agreed.
But, I'm just so excited for you. And I mean, having been at Churchill Downs today, what was the prevailing atmosphere, sentiment and hanging around with the Saratoga team? Is there any anecdotal stories you can share with us?
I feel like they have a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
I think it's their race to lose. And I love that. And I'm kind of coming in, trying to get that feel, trying to see where that team is. And I left there going, these guys are pretty confident. They like what they're seeing every day. So,
Oh, my goodness.
it's really cool.
What is it like for you as the breeder? Do you feel like you're kind of on the periphery a little bit watching? Or does it feel for you? Because I mean, I can only live vicariously. There's no way I'm in a position to have a horse of this quality myself. But here you actually have this intimate connection. And so what is it like from your perspective watching this all unfold?
I almost feel like I'm more of a fan than, the owner's interest. Yeah, I think it's a little more nerve-wracking. And this time, I've actually become such a big fan of the horse that, I'm rooting for the horse almost just because he's a great horse.
Oh.
And, being the breeder, I'm not sure if it really has sunk in that it's actually happened.
Well, it's happening. I mean, already, even just with the resume he has now, it's pretty incredible. And in a year that has been so heartbreaking for everyone around the world and trying and whatnot, I'm sure this horse has been a great bright spot to, you look forward to every one of his races and following along on the journey.
I can say there's one thing I learned today that I think guys who are going to be tuning into the TV, just remember the yellow bus. And that's all I'm going to say. Remember
the yellow bus. Okay, everybody has to remember that. Okay, got it.
Funny side.
Funny. Well, yes, because they all rolled in on the bus for funny side, right?
I know nothing.
You know nothing. Okay, we're not going to hold your feet to the fire on anything anything further than that. But it is tough, though. I know they were only allowing so many people to barn. You were telling me, so you didn't actually get to go see him in person. When is the last time you saw this horse in person?
I think at the Churchill race as a 2-year-old.
Oh my goodness!
So I hope I'm not the bad luck of the group.
No, you're not. No. You stop that right now. Is Steve going to come in for the race as well?
No.
Oh no.
That again, it just makes me sick.
I'm sorry.
So
no,
unfortunately, it's cruel.
Yeah. No, it's super tough, but I'm sure he will definitely be rooting from wherever he is watching as hard and as loudly as he can, right?
Absolutely. We were texting as the draw was happening. We're going back and forth. Maybe he'll get the 8, the 10, the 12. I hope he doesn't get the 2 or the 1. And,
oh my gosh! No, there was a moment when I was watching the draw. I was like, oh my gosh, is this horse going to draw the 1 hole? Is he going to draw the 1 hole?
I was feeling the same thing. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Somebody take this 1 out of here.
Right? Oh my gosh, it's so nerve-wracking. But also, I mean, think about it. You've got your 3 top selections right on the outside there. I mean, what are the chances of that in an 18-horse field? They all would draw next to each other.
Yeah, I did see that odds board, and it was so odd. The odds board, 1 through 15 were like 20-1 and up. And
Yeah,
it's like, wow, that's kind of interesting.
it is nuts. I'll ask you 2 more questions here, and that way we get the solid hour in. What, apart from another horse, will be Tiz the Law's biggest obstacle to overcome from a trainer's perspective?
I think just getting through this week. I think the horse is set up for the race, so it would be something unforeseen that goes through, the day-to-day process.
Yeah.
Just an odd incident would be my fear. So
Yeah, I know. You just want to bubble wrap them, right?
Right. You just want to get to the track, get around there, get back, take a bath, go put him up, everybody leave. Let's go to the next day. That's
right.
Day by day. You still have a few days that you need everything to dot your I, cross your T's,
yes.
keep him happy. And the race part, I think he can take care of that. We just got to get him there.
Yeah. No, it's the waiting. It is. You just want to get it done, right? You want to get in there and get it done and let him show his quality. I think anybody can handle a loss so long as it's a fair situation. I mean, that's the other thing. It's always the gate. It always makes you nervous. I mean, you can have the sure thing, and I'm not superstitious, so I'm not putting anything out.
Let's go back to your AP Indy.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. What happened with him?
Was a humongous favorite for this race.
Yes.
And I can remember where I was. I actually was at Bay Meadows in California, and I was in the racing secretary's office with Bob Humphrey and one of my all-time favorite guys. And I remember when he scratched, and everybody's like, "You got to be kidding me!" And and I mean, it can happen.
No, I know.
That's the fear you got to get through.
Yeah, no, I know, and we all want to see this too. So it's and that's the other thing is almost when even if somebody wants to back it up, we all want to see this race because we all want to see. You only get one shot at the Derby, people. You're only 3-year-old at one time. This is the only shot you get, and what a weird year it's been. But we're gonna assume everything goes nice and smoothly, and let's say he wins. How are you going to celebrate?
Oh my gosh, I'm not going there. I'm very superstitious. So.
Oh, you are. See, I'm not. No. Somebody was saying, "Oh my gosh, you have upside down horseshoes on your wall there," during another broadcast I had done last week. And I said, "Well, no, I'm not superstitious. I mean, usually I always have a horseshoe the correct way. I'll show everybody. I'm wearing an Old Smoke shirt. Here we go. First Saturday in September.
Nice.
With the horseshoe up. And in fact, our wedding invitations had a horseshoe and the horseshoe's up. But in this case, I wanted them that way because I wanted it to look like a horse was walking up the wall. I know it's weird. It's actually another Florida Derby winner dialed in.
Oh, wow.
Those are his shoes. So in any case, that's why those are that way. But no, I've always felt that you can't put the ego in it, because to have superstition is to, in a way, feel like you personally have some sort of power over what happens to people who have put in all this work, and the horse has put in all this work and everything. And I just don't feel like I'm that powerful. So.
Well, I think being an ex-trainer and manager of these horses
Yes.
on our farm, we feel the pressure of
Yeah.
having to put this team together and to get this horse to this race. And you put everything in it, and you don't want the smallest little thing going wrong. And you feel like you need all the positive energy around you to make that happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's where all that comes from.
Well, I totally get it. Like I know my husband, for example, he likes to, or has known anyway, people who have to stand at the same monitor or go to the same teller, or all that stuff. They get the good vibe going. But hey, everybody's got their own thing, right?
For sure.
But okay, then another question, since we won't go with how you'll celebrate, how will you? Where do you go now? I mean, with the Churchill Downs being what it is with limited attendance, are you going to be in the grandstand? Because I think everybody has to stay outdoors, right? Or no?
I have no idea. I'm going to be learning on the job.
Well, there you go. It'll be exciting for sure. Do you already have your outfit picked out? I know I joked about the pants, but I'm serious now.
That is a big no. I am male, so that's a last minute thing.
It's okay. Oh my gosh, that is funny though. Okay, well, I'm sure you'll get it all together. Are you a fedora person? Are you a no hat person? I know you're wearing a ball cap right now. Are you going to wear a ball cap? Yeah, at least for that.
I'm always a ball cap guy, so
Okay.
I'm probably going to be sporting a Constitution with the Tiz
There you go.
the Law on there.
Right on, and then bow tie, regular tie, no tie.
I'm a regular tie.
Okay, so see, I got something out of you regarding that. Right on.
See, I'm putting the outfit together right now.
Oh my gosh, exactly. I'm helped. There's another job for me, stylist, racing stylist, day of, right? I put together your outfits, I name your horses, I do it all. Before I let you go, because this has been so much fun, Randy, there was somebody who had asked a question regarding if you have. I know you already mentioned one of your yearlings, obviously the one who's a half brother to Tiz the Law, who will be going through the sale, son of Mission Impassable, who you also campaign. Are there any other yearlings that you're excited about?
Oh, yes.
Oh, tell us.
So we have a Constitution out of a mare named Whisper Number that I think is an absolute superstar. There's also a Constitution out of a mare named Jihan that's a half to Pure Silver that won the Adirondack.
Yes.
And another Constitution that's out of a half to Send It In.
Wow.
That won the greatest stake at Belmont. And then there's a secret horse by Empire Maker that I think is extremely special, and he's gray. I've never seen a gray Empire Maker. They're not going to make those anymore.
No.
He is in a phasing Tipton sale, and someone might have to pay a lot of money to take him from us.
Wow, that's exciting. I mean, having lost Empire Maker, yeah, you're right. They're not making them anymore. These are limited editions. And what a sireline he is, Empire Maker himself, being a son of Unbridled. I think it was actually Bobby Frankel had a quote about Empire Maker saying that and this was before Go Sapper's big season, right? And he said that he wanted to be remembered for being the trainer of Empire Maker.
Ooh, that's strong.
Yeah. I mean, he had Go Zapper in the barn yet, but Go Zapper hadn't really become Go Zapper yet. But yeah, very, very strong statement there for sure. But Randy, this has been so much fun. We're so excited for you and Team Tiz the Law. Tiz the Law, your 3-5 favorite with Manny Franco in the Kentucky Derby, taking place the first Saturday in September. already an illustrious resume that can only be gilded, like gilding the lily here. Again, best of luck, and I can hardly wait to see what he does on Saturday.
Right. I'm hoping tomorrow's Saturday. Is it?
No, I know,
We
right?
still have 3 more days to go.
I know. Hang in there. Hang tight. Get us
All right,
updates if
thank
you
you.
can and post them. Thank you so
All
much.
right,
And
will do.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been your Future Stars Forecast Special Kentucky Derby Edition. Don't forget, you've got to watch it this Saturday. Again, the first Saturday in September. Let's see if Tiz the Law makes history. Till next time, I will see you here on the Future Stars Forecast.